The kettlebell swing is one of my favorite movements for developing explosive power, glute, hamstring development, entire body control, but it's also a great way to mess up your back and many other things if we don't do it correctly. Let's take a couple minutes and figure out how to do them right. So first, the setup, we're going to stand in front of a kettlebell, or behind, and then we're going to step back about 2 feet distance, and then spread your feet wide enough so that there is space for the kettlebell to pass through your legs when you hinge back. So for some people, if you have really big legs, it might be a little wider. Some people can be a little more narrow. Whatever feels stable to you. And then we're going to turn our toes out just a little bit so that we can create this like external rotation of the hip socket at the top. Then we're going to push the hips back, weight into your heels. As I go back into this position, my back is flat and stable. And then I'm going to grab the kettlebell. So this is our starting position. I am engaged through my hamstrings and the glutes. My feet are stable on the ground. My weight's in my heels. My torso is braced. Now, the first step to learning a good swing is the initial hike. So you can just take this and then hike it back like a football and then let it pendulum back to the bottom. Hike, pendulum. Once this feels really smooth, we're going to then extend our hips forward and use that to lift the kettlebell. We're not trying to lift it with our arms. We're trying to push with our hips and then keep everything locked in place. The top of a swing is like a standing plank. So if we take our thumbs, lock them, put them out here, and then lock everything down, my torso is really stable, my lats are packed, my shoulder blades are packed down. There's like a slight bent in my elbows. We're not trying to like T-Rex this motion. You might need to be a little wider, depending on how wide your chest is, or your sex, or whatever. So we're going to be here, hinge, and then I'm going to hike, and then just squeeze my butt and shove my hips forward. So hike, here, and then park it, and then hike, squeeze my butt, let it fall, park it. Biggest mistake I see in this phase is either people allowing the kettlebell to like pull their shoulders out of socket, really want to keep that nice stable structured torso at the top, or when they let it fall, they hinge way too early and the kettlebell swings below their knees. You almost want to play chicken between the kettlebell and your pelvis. So it's going to fall down until you're almost about to be hitting the pelvis, and then just let the weight of the bell pull you backwards. Think like you're catching it with your hamstrings, and then we'll let it fall. So this is called a dead stop swing, where we park it between every rep. So we're going to be here, hike, swing, catch, park. Hike, swing, catch, park. And we want to be very comfortable here before we move into continuous swings, because that way we can make sure that we're controlling every rep. Once that feels stable, here, and we can start to swing continuously. So hike, swing, catch, swing, catch, swing. And every time I'm shifting my weight back and forth at the hips, keeping my weight in my heels, and keeping this consistent stability in the torso as I swing. And then we can park safely. Those are the basics on how to do a kettlebell swing. You want to have that nice stable plank at the top, about 2 feet distance away from the kettlebell. You want to have that hinge back at the hips, explosive movement from the hips, stable at the top, as I said. Play chicken with it on the way down, catch it with your hamstrings, and then create more explosive movement. Keep it above your knees, and then park the bottom. It is a very intricate movement that you can spend a long time really perfecting, but once you get it, it's very safe, and it can create a ton of explosive power, especially in your glutes, your hamstrings, and your entire posterior chain, while also creating a lot of stability through the rest of your body.